And here is Max, the yappy puppy from the last video. Just thought you'd want to say hi.
Oh, wait.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 13 and 15 for you. Here's 13. No outside exponents, but you notice that the numerator has multiplication in it, and again they snuck one of those tricky L's in there, so I hope you guys didn't think it was a 41. So I'm going to multiply across the numerator. 4 times 2 makes 8. L to the third has no other L's to combine with, so we'll just write L to the third. M to the negative second times M to the negative third. Add those exponents and you get M to the negative fifth. And then you have N to the fifth. Over 8N to the seventh. Well, one beautiful thing that happens is that these 8's cancel out. And you have M to the negative fifth, which is going to move down to the denominator. So now what you have in the numerator is you have L to the third, N to the fifth, and in the denominator, M to the fifth that just moved down there, and N to the seventh that was there before. Now you're not allowed to have 2 of the same letter in your final answer, so right here you have to decide, is this where I add or subtract the exponents? And since those n's are dividing, you subtract the exponents. So you do 7 minus 5, which is going to give you n to the second, and it's going to be located in the denominator. So your final answer is L to the third over M to the fifth, N to the second. Those tricky L's. On to number 15, and that is the last one for the day. Oh, 15's big. All right, here's 15. Negative 8, x to the second, y. Y to the third, z to the negative second, to the negative second. And then 2, x to the negative third, y to the second, to the third. Okay, so in this question I have 2 outside exponents, so I have to handle that first. This negative 8 x squared y is just going to stay as is. So we have negative 8 x squared y. This is going to become y to the third to the negative second, and then z to the negative second to the negative second. That's the center one. Now the last one is going to become 2 to the third, x to the negative third to the third, and then y to the second to the third. Okay, this negative 8 x squared y is still the same. It's just negative 8 x squared y times inner outer exponents multiply. So I'm going to have y to the negative 6th, z to the 4th, 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2, which makes 8. Inner outer exponent, x to the negative 9th. Inner outer exponent, multiply y to the 6th. Now I'm going to simplify by first multiplying the coefficients. Negative 8 times 8, that is negative 64. For the x's, x squared times x to the negative 9th, that's where you add the powers. 2 plus negative 9 is negative 7, so you have x to the negative 7th. For the y's, you have y to the first, y to the negative 6th, and y to the positive 6th. So if I add all those powers, 1 plus negative 6 plus 6, I get 1. So this is y to the first. And then z to the fourth is all by itself. And I think I'm done, except I'm not, because x is raised to the negative 7th power. You're not allowed to leave a negative exponent in your answer. So your final answer is negative 64 y z to the fourth over x to the 7th. And that is the end. Have fun.